that stress that we're experiencing, if we allow it to deprioritize creativity and abstract thinking, what also happens is that inner critic voice comes up. And that's typically negativity bias or loss aversion. Welcome to another episode of the Physician Growth Accelerator, a show where we break down your medical practice systems into vitals, give you the tools to diagnose root cause of what may be restricting your growth, and prescribe what to do about it. I'm your host, Zed Williamson, and I believe that everything that you experience is the perfect outcome of your current system. The freedom, the power in that statement is if we don't like what we're experiencing, all we have to do is step back, take responsibility, and tweak the system. And I've been hearing a lot from private practices recently that there's this general feeling of being squeezed, where the top revenue for the practice is coming down potentially, and the costs are going up. So that gap in between is getting smaller and smaller and smaller. And that can create stress, especially if you're a physician business owner, and let's say you're the main cog in this machine. And many times you're pulled out of the things that actually drive revenue because you're needed in these other places, and it just drives more of that stress. Is this what you imagined it would be like when you started? If you think back to the time frame of you having your vision, doing what you love, thinking of what this might actually be like, is what you're experiencing today what that vision was? If it is, that is awesome. If it started to go off course, that is completely normal. It's not a bad thing. It's not a good thing. It just is. But awareness of it is what might be able to help you get back on a course if it's important to you. It's interesting when we have this vision of this thing that we believe in, this idea that we're excited about. What happens in our brain is it actually brings resources to creativity. To the ability to create something that doesn't exist yet. It's actually a pretty special part of the brain that makes us human, that we can think in that way. And when we're in that state where we're starting and we're excited about a bigger picture, these potholes and bumps, they don't really affect us very much, the things that are in the way. We kind of just bowl over them. We go, oh, we'll figure it out. I'm in creative mode, bing, bang, boom, we get this done. Boom, boom, because you have this vision. And there's still risk. There's actually really the same risk there then than there is now, but it doesn't feel that way. And it's really how our brain is structured. So now fast forward to a time frame, if you are feeling that squeeze, that gap between top line revenue and costs getting tinier, and you're in this heightened stress mindset, what the brain does is it actually deprioritizes creativity and abstract thinking. And it prioritizes feeding the most ancient parts of our brain, basically be able to move, motor control. And if we're not paying attention, that stress that we're experiencing, if we allow it to deprioritize creativity and abstract thinking, what also happens is that inner critic voice comes up. And that's typically negativity bias or loss aversion. And it's this thing that basically the brain is trying to keep itself safe. It's a survival mechanism. It doesn't know that you're not actually in danger. And the signals it's feeding you is that inner critic, that thing to keep you from going and doing the thing that you love. And the way I like to envision this is our vision kind of comes down, meaning if you were to run a race, it's pretty important for you to look out over, into the future. Like, what am I running into? And that's kind of the creativity, abstract thinking. I'm, moving my vision left to right at the horizon, understanding where I'm going. And as we experience more and more heightened stress, our vision comes down and we start looking closer to where we're going, and we can get all the way down to basically we're staring at our feet. And I don't know about you, but running a race staring at your feet is not a great idea. Typically what it means is you're going to slow way down because you understand that there is danger. So is this happening in your business? Are you in this position where your brain has actually, it can actually make creativity feel indulgent or unnecessary? Are you in that state? Are you in this have to state? That's frustrating, but it doesn't have to be that way. You can put yourself back into that creative mindset. One of the ways to do it is just think about the freedom that children have. Think about how a kid is not limited and how almost every adult recognizes that kids pretty much have some wisdom that adults don't. As adults, we get a little screwed up. But the ability for a child to be creative, to see things beyond what is directly in front of them, is a power we all have. We typically just hide it. So get out and play. Do something with kids if you can. Do something where you're taking yourself out of your business and just go play from the mindset of what could this be? Get back to the brain that helped you get over all the speed bumps that you ran into when you started this practice years ago, and get back to that state. Maybe do some things you did back then so that your brain's recognizing you're not really in danger, and you can prioritize some mental energy to some creativity and abstract thinking. And I think you'll benefit from it. So I hope that was helpful. If you ever want to check your vitals of your private medical practice, go to physiciangrowthaccelerator.com and check your vitals. It'll help you identify or pinpoint where are maybe the tightest constraints around your practice's ability to be as healthy as it possibly can. And with that, we'll see you next time on the Physician Growth Accelerator.